is a presentation of HBO Sports.
I'm excited about my career, and I'm very happy where I am right now.
There's two kinds of boxers in this sport. There's boxer who likes to make money and boxers who likes to make history. We are the two best fighters in the division, and that's why we face each other to see who's the best.
Good afternoon. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. One of the joys of my life is to be able to present a truly interesting and competitive big event. A reigning world champion who is willing to face the best available challenger in the challenger's hometown.
For me, doesn't matter where I'm fighting, everywhere. If I'm true champion, I will be fighting everywhere with any fighter.
I know that the odds I'm 4-1, but I love that. I love to be the underdog.
Yes, it's my first mini-event in my life because it's my first baby in my life. Yeah, life is good right now, and I have a beautiful family and beautiful job.
It seems kind of funny in hindsight that Sergei Kovalev was able to fly under the radar for such a long time. Amazingly, nobody else, none of the big promoters seemed to pick him up. He worked with main events, which now seems like a perfect marriage.
As he came along, particularly within the past 2 or 3 years, his career was developing. He had the impressive string of knockouts. You're wondering, okay, when is the big fight going to arrive?
And all of a sudden, after a 2014 that began to look as if it was going to be difficult for him, as if he was going to have to be very patient in terms of finding his big fight, along came the biggest fight he could possibly hope for. We still didn't know whether Sergei Kovalev could compete with a boxer at the very highest level.
So everybody expected that Bernard would try to stretch him out over the rounds, take him into the deep water beyond the 8th round, and expose Kovalev as somebody who didn't have the boxing sophistication to stay with him.
The message that I tried to get across to Sergei for the Bernard Hopkins fight was, you're the better fighter, you're the younger, stronger fighter. You're fighting an older fighter. Make him feel old during the fight.
I knew that I can punch him right hand when he comes to me. And I counted these like couple steps and I catch him.
Down goes Hopkins on the first solid right hand that Kovalev threw. He has extraordinary power. Bernard is getting hit flush with hard shots much more frequently than I personally have ever seen before.
Flying the ointment turned out to be Kovalev did have the boxing sophistication to stay with Bernard Hopkins.
No one has ever knocked out Bernard Hopkins or stopped him.
He has nothing left, nothing left.
Well, he caught a right hand there and is clowning.
When he showed me like that, you know, like it was like, oh, why you did it? Like, come on.
Kovalev wants to knock him out. Kovalev wants to put an exclamation point on it. Kovalev hammering Bernard Hopkins from pillar to post. As we get to the final bell,
It was an incredible performance. He won basically every minute of every round. No one's done that against Bernard Hopkins, ever.
All three judges score it unanimously. From Russia with love, Sergey Kovalev.
I think by not just beating Bernard Hopkins, but dominating Bernard Hopkins, Sergey Kovalev really elevated himself.
He's still searching, he's still climbing, he's still trying to achieve things. You have your child now, you have a beautiful family. You want to provide for them all things you didn't get as a kid, so that keeps us, I think that keeps him motivated and staying hungry.
Leader crusher. When I saw his first time, personally, it was the greatest moment in my life. My son pushed me more, and because I want to give him good life, right life, and support him everywhere. We love you. We love you.
Hands up, Black.
What do you think about the fight?
My honest opinion is the opponent is a very dangerous opponent, but I think you have a lot of athleticism to you that can probably capsize it. I see a lot of upset happen in boxing, and it's supposed to be an upset if you ask me.
No, it's supposed to be an upset for the world, but
Right.
not for myself and my team. Like,
Because you know what you're capable of doing.
exactly. Back home, our national sport, it's hockey. I started to play hockey and I was quite good. But when I get older, I decided to quit hockey and follow my big brother. At the time, he was the Golden Glove champion. Most boxers always said that the first time they get in the gym, they fell in love with the sport, but I don't understand how, because the first time I got in the boxing gym, it was smelly, stinky, like dirty, people were sweating all over. When I decided to take that sport very seriously, and I watched my first boxing fight, it was Roy Jones Jr., and that's where I fell in love with the sport. I don't pretend I'm somebody. I'm like everybody else. That's my mess. I clean it up.
John Pascal, he's a little bit of a chameleon in some ways as a fighter. He has, I think, probably a reputation as a fighter rather than a boxer. But there's always been more to him than that. He's an interesting, fairly versatile fighter.
You hear the response of the Quebecois to their man having become the legitimate champion of 175 pounds.
It would have been easy for Pascal to have kind of melted away after that. A lot of guys who fought Bernard Hopkins have not done well afterwards. He's destroyed them mentally and physically.
It was tough, but we decided to sit down and very analyze what happened. I'm not afraid to criticize myself. Jean do the same thing and make sure that we progress together.
It's been a long time that I'm working with Mark. It's human nature to get comfortable with that person. And me, I'm always trying to improve myself to get better. So I said, why don't you try to work with Roy Jones, like primetime best of the best?
That's what I'm talking about. That's more like it. I see it now. I got a call saying that he knew I was really good against southpaws in my day, and he's about to fight Lucien Boutte, and he would like for me to come work with him. It's very smart, so I can't get nothing there. I can't get nothing there. I can try, but I can't get nothing there because you balance. If I ever do this, you got me. I'm dead. I can't do that.
Oftentimes you'll find that fighters will just jettison their old trainers, blame them for their bad performance, start all over again. And Pascal hasn't done that. What he's looked to do is expand the voices, bring in that extra perspective.
Roy Jones brings a lot to her team. It's something to be a good boxer, but be a good coach is something very different. But he was able to make that transition.
Working with Mark and this team has been absolutely phenomenal. You wouldn't think that a group of people in boxing can get along because we all use this stubborn and hard-headed. But this place, you get a chance to see everybody put their expertise in the correct places and put their pride aside, all for the benefits of Jean-Pascal.
For Pascal, this was a huge, huge fight against Boutte. The fact that it was in Montreal made it that much bigger. Pascal came out at the beginning of that fight in classic Roy mode, in the crouch, with his left hand dangling so low it's practically scraping on the canvas.
Hey, who you had? Who you had? Oh, counter that, baby! There you go, there you go!
Hard right hand by Pascal. Left hook lands. And he throws the left hook 3 more times.
That's it! That's what I want right now!
The Pascal that we saw that night believed in himself, was very sure of himself. Confidence was a huge product of that alliance.
To the winner by unanimous decision, Jean-Pascal!
I want to thank my man, Roy Jones.
Jean-Pascal has kind of gone through the crossroads by beating Lucien Boutte. He's re-established himself as a major light heavyweight player. If he beats Sergey Kovalev, it would be a remarkable career renaissance.
This fight means a lot for me. It's to be back on top. I'm facing Sergey Kovalev, the guy of the division, the kingpin, but I'm the cash cow. That's why they're fighting at my place.
This is it. He's the hometown hero. He is the king of Montreal. He's going to have 20,000 fans cheering him on. There's going to be a huge boost for him.
I don't think that bothers Sergey Kovalev in the slightest. There's a dark, sinister element in Sergey's character. He enjoys hurting his opponents. He enjoys taking the crowd out of the fight.
Believe me, I will do everything on March 14th in his hometown to get my next great victory.
It is going to be Kovalev trying to trap Pascal and keep him in front of him. Pascal trying to prevent Kovalev from doing that.
Kovalev is a freight train. He's going to be looking to run Jean-Pascal down on the tracks and flatten him.
I'm not gonna fight his fight. He's gonna have to fight my fight.
On March 14th, Sergey Kovalev will kick his ass. He will be nobody after me.
So don't miss it, live on HBO. It's Sergey Kovalev against Jean-Pascal.